Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to go over the R word, recession. A lot of talk online and on the news about recession, about we're going into one, or maybe we're already in one. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, but more importantly, we're going to talk about reassessing our financial situation. As you know, this is a financial channel, so we don't just talk about stocks, although we do, primarily talk about stocks. But today's going to be an educational one, give you some tips and tricks on different areas. So let's go ahead and dive right on into that. So the first thing, what is a recession? In economics, a recession is a business cycle contraction when there is generally a decline in economic activity. Recessions generally occur when there is a widespread drop in spending. So why is there a widespread drop in spending? Well, think about this. Things that you normally do or normally buy, when they go up in price and give you the same product or service, you tend to not want to buy those things anymore if you can help it, right? So biggest thing for me, a good example is I was at Walmart grocery shopping and I was going to go get sliced cheese. Well, sliced cheese was like over $7. And when I saw the price of it, I just threw it right back on the shelf. I said, I can go without cheese until that price comes down, at least that type of sliced cheese. So same cheese, nothing different, same count, same brand, same everything, except now it's $3 higher than it was several months ago, right? Flights, almost anything you could think of right now is going higher. So people start kind of scaling back a little bit because most likely they're not making more money, just everything's costing more. So you have to be more smart about your money and what you do with it, which kind of slows everything down. Until eventually, like, all this inflation and all this other mumbo jumbo kind of settles down and we kind of get back to normal. I don't know how long that's going to be, hopefully not too long, but that's basically what it is. So what we're going to talk about today is some things that you should do now, and not necessarily just because we're talking about, mentioned the recession. This is some things you should do probably on a yearly basis, is reassess your financial priorities and kind of make sure that everything that you want to be done in your financial sector of your life is getting done, okay, and reevaluate what's working, what's not working, things like that. So checklist here, we're going to go through: reassess your financial priorities, prioritizing debt payments, make use of free programs or community offerings, put away as much cash as you can to an emergency fund, make extra money, aka side hustles. I'm going to go through each of these one by one and give you some examples on number 5. Really, on each of these, I'll give you some examples on what you can do, okay? So reassessing your financial priorities. First and foremost, create and commit to a monthly budget. If you do not budget yet, there is a form in the description below. You can take a look at that, download, print it out, and there you go. Cut any unnecessary spending out of the budget. So whenever you put everything on paper, you're going to be able to see if there's any type of unnecessary spending, and you'll be able to cut that out and try to free up some money at the end of the month, right? So budgeting is telling your money where to go, not your money telling you where to go, and it gives you a lot more control, it gives you a lot less anxiety, and makes you aware, because if you come out, you put in your budget, you put everything on paper, and you're in the hole where you have more money coming out than you do coming in, it kind of makes the wheels turn, and it makes your blood pump a little bit, your heart race, and kind of makes you want to spring into action, okay? Creating financial goals. Think about how much money you want in your savings account or emergency fund by the end of the year. Tip to save some money: buy off-brand items at the grocery store. I was mentioning cheese a while ago, and that was the name brand. I mean, it was $7.48, and I could have easily bought the off-brand cheese, but there's some things that I usually don't buy, like off-brand cheese, off-brand toilet paper, or biscuits. I'd rather just go without them. Obviously can't go without toilet paper, but you know what I'm saying. Another tip, guys, are gas. Gas prices are high right now. If you get gas at Walmart, there is a app called the Murphy Rewards app. If you download that app, every Monday, you can do what's called Rev Up, and you basically spin a wheel to earn points. You can earn anywhere from 5 to 25 points, and once you get to 100 points, that gives you 10 cents off every gallon of gas that you get. You don't have to use the points at 100. You can wait until it gets all the way to 1,000 if you'd like to, and then you can get a whole $1 off your gallon per gas. Bad thing is about that is whenever you use it, you have to use all of them in 100-point increments. So like if I have 350 points, then I can't just use 10 cents here and then 10 cents there. I got to use actually 300 points. So I'll save 30 cents per gallon, which is good, and I'll still have 50 points left over, but I won't be able to use that additional 50 until I work it back up to 100. Okay, and getting creative, guys. I know things are expensive right now. Like I said, everything's expensive. But if there's some things that you need done around the house, if you need to build something like a shelf or anything, some type of little handy work you have to do yourself, get creative and figure out how to do it yourself, as long as it's not something that is super complicated and unsafe. But YouTube provides you with every opportunity to learn whatever you want to learn now. So getting creative can save you a lot of money on doing some little easy home projects. A debt repayment. If you do have debt, then get on a plan to keep paying your debt down. Okay, or if you haven't started that yet, list them smallest to largest. Try to attack the smallest and get that out first, and roll that other money over to the bigger payment. That's called the debt snowball. And now is a great time to become disciplined, because you have to really kind of be smart with your money right now. And so this is a really good time to practice being disciplined with your money, and that includes debt repayment. Okay, so you want to make a plan for your debt, try to knock that out as much as you can, and try not to take on any more unnecessary debt if you can help it. Okay, guys, so free programs and community. What I'm talking about here, okay, I'll give you an example. When I was in college, I was so broke I couldn't afford to pay attention, and I had to kind of get creative on how to get some of the things that I would enjoy doing, but not pay for them. So at the library, I found out if you get a free library card, you get up to 6 free books or movies, and you can keep them for up to like 2 weeks. So instead of having to go rent them and pay for them at Redbox, which it's not a lot of money, but when you were pinching pennies like I was, every little bit helped, right? So it was more about changing my lifestyle as opposed to saving $6 or $7, and that made me realize I'm not going to spend money where I don't have to, right? It was kind of just more, like I said, training my mind. So I'd go rent 6 movies at a time, and I'd watch them over a 2-week period. I'd go return them. I'd get 6 more movies. And whenever I wanted to sit down and watch a movie, I didn't have to go waste gas to go drive to Redbox. I didn't have to, spend $1.25 or whatever it was to rent the movie. I would, I would just go to the library and get it for free. If I want to get a book, I can go rent a book and do that again. Church gatherings, guys. In college, there was plenty of those of you college people out there. There was a lot of church organizations that would offer free lunches at my college, and they would advertise it. I mean, all the time. It didn't matter what denomination you were; they would invite you over to free lunch. I ended up meeting some people from all different denominations, and they'd invite me over and pray with them at noon, and I'd eat for free. I had three meals a week were free at school. Eventually, my senior year, it was pretty nice. And then cookouts, instead of going eat out and pay a substantial amount of money, why not buy food and cook it yourself at home? Invite some friends over. Maybe they can bring some items as well. It saves you money in the long run as well, and you get to be in the comfort of your own home. You're saving on gas. You're saving on gratuity, tipping people, and it just helps, and exactly who's cooking and how it's getting cooked. That's another good thing too, instead of wondering what they're doing behind the scenes, right? Number 4, emergency fund. So you want to put some money away in an emergency fund, savings or money market account where it's easily accessible, but not too easy. You don't want to be able to, go and you don't want to, like, your checking account. You don't want to put it in your checking account, so you're going to be more likely to spend it if it's linked to your debit card. So somewhere where it's easily accessible, but you're not going to be really tempted to spend it, right? It may not be needed today, but it will be needed one day. There's always going to be some type of emergency. However, it turns a tragedy of an emergency into an inconvenience once you stack up enough and have that funded. And number 5, guys, side hustles. Okay, so our side hustles, or I'm going to recommend, are eBay, Amazon drop shipping, tutoring and coaching. This should say handyman work, not handman work. Obviously, I'm not tutoring in grammar, right? So handyman work, mowing grass, YouTube, trading. Now I'm going to go through each of these really quickly. eBay and Amazon, basically what I did in college was I had an eBay and Amazon drop shipping business, and I would take items from each of these stores or companies and put them on the other website. So I would have an Amazon item, such as like a dresser, okay, and I would list it over on eBay at a markup, like 20% markup. Well, then someone would buy it on eBay. I would turn around, I'd buy it off of Amazon and ship it to the customer. I would never ever touch the item, ever, and I wouldn't buy it unless someone paid me first, and then I would just keep the difference. So I would obviously have a cost of the item. I would have eBay fees and PayPal fees and taxes, but I would calculate that before I would put my listing in. I would calculate that into the price, and then whatever I kept after all that was my profit. So it takes some time to get going on that and to learn everything. However, that can be pretty lucrative. The bad thing is it's so saturated now, everybody does it, but you could also use Shopify too. That's another website that you can use to do that as well. I'm not familiar with it, but I know a lot of people do use it as well. Tutoring and coaching, if you know that you're good at some type of skill or you have something to offer, it can be subject related for school, it can be coaching on public speaking, gardening, I don't know what it is, but if you're good at something and you have a good solid foundation and education about it, people know that you're good at it and they ask you for help, then that's kind of how I got started. Was I had people saying, hey, I see that you teach math, can you tutor my son? Yes. I see that you're a basketball coach, can you provide some private lessons? Yes. And it just kind of took off from there. Okay. Handyman work, there's a lot of people out there that may need some help doing things around the house, and if you're good at doing that type of stuff and you know how to fix things, like simple things, you can go do those type of things and make a little bit of side money. Maybe it's installing doors, putting trim, painting, I don't know, stuff like that, and you can do that kind of on the side to make some extra money. Mowing grass, even if you don't want to go cut grass, if you have some people that are willing to cut grass for you and you have a couple of lawn mowers, weed eaters, then you can maybe line up the yards and have people go cut for you, and you just get paid for lining them up, and you pay the other guys a little bit less than what you're making, and life is good. Or if you like to mow grass, go and try to get some yards and go cut in the evenings or on the weekends, and I know several people that do that as well. YouTube, guys, if you have something that you like to talk about and you're passionate about, then consider going on YouTube. This is a pretty much a zero risk as far as financially speaking goes for YouTube. I mean, you can start this with zero money. You need an email, a channel, and some time to get it done. Okay, and again, there is a ton of YouTube videos that teach you how to get started on YouTube. It's crazy. All of these things here you can find on YouTube of what to do, how to do them. There's really no excuse. But this is a very, very like I said, risk-free. It just takes some time, it takes some work, and you put the time in and you can get monetized as long as you follow the rules and start making consistent income off of YouTube as well. And I'm doing that now, obviously, and thanks to all of you guys who watch the channel and share the videos and everything. So it's another way to possibly earn some side money. And then trading, if you learn how to trade, then you can now this is a lot riskier. This is actually risking your money, so this is obviously the most risky one out of the whole bunch, but this takes some time to learn. However, there's plenty of people who do it on the side. They swing trade, they day trade, they scalp, okay, aside from their normal long-term investments. Okay, but it's another way to make maybe $200, $300, $500 a month. Some people do this for a living and make an exceptional amount of money. However, you need to know what you're doing. You don't want to just go in and get into a stock and all of a sudden it fall down and you lose all your money. Okay, you want to be able to make sure that you read the charts and learn how to do the technical analysis and just get some experience. I would recommend, if you download TD Ameritrade's Thinkorswim app on your desktop, start with paper trading money. Okay, this is fake money, and watch a lot of videos on how to read the technicals and things of that nature. You can watch some of mine that are popping up here, and it goes through kind of the basics of it, but there's a lot of other guys on YouTube that you can learn from as well on how to day trade, swing trade, and things like that. So anyway, guys, hope this video helped. I know it's a lot different than our normal videos, but just wanted to make one of these educational ones because it's been a while. So let me know your comments below. Other than that, we'll catch you in the next one.